Hey everybody, what's up? This is a humorous slash serious type of video because I just want to know, how chaotic was your house before your son or daughter moved out? I want to know if you need to sage or you need to call a priest for an exorcism, because sometimes we hate to admit there's dark spirits in the home, and it has been a long time since you've been able to rest. Going back about 15 years before my daughter's estranged, so I'm trying to think about it, because sometimes when you have a new life, it can bring back certain memories. And so I say, for the most part, raising my kids was within normal limits. They behaved and they didn't get into trouble, and they didn't drink, smoke, or use drugs in high school, from what I know. And I'd been divorced, and so I was raising them on my own, and it was, for the most part, within reason. We had our challenges. Once in a while, they get disrespectful, and I'd have to discipline them, and they get grounded or whatever. But for the most part, it was good. But then they reached the teen years, and it got a little iffy, And still, for the most part, still no serious troubles. It just wasn't. And so then it got a little iffier when my daughter, turned 18, oldest, and we had some challenges, and it's just one of those things. And so that's when the, a little bit of anxiety and chaos and this and that settled in, and then she moved out. And I thought, okay, so I had my youngest at home, and we had a little bit of a snafu, and it ended up being where my house was, it's stressful, anxiety ridden. It was tough. It was tough to be there. There was no respect towards me. She'd go, I think it was before, I think it was MySpace or something like that. My youngest daughter, she had a cell phone, the internet, and all that fun stuff, and I'd look at her page once in a while, and she'd talk shit about me, about how I got tattoos and I went out and what a shitty mother I was, and how she hated me and couldn't stand to look at me. And that space was, it was tough. It was a tough space to be. And I can't tell you the last time I couldn't even relax. I walk in the house not knowing what I was going to walk into. And so at that point, there was no cohesiveness and no respect. I said, you got to go stay with your dad, because I thought maybe she'll see the grass is green, or maybe here or somewhere else. I don't know. And so I can say my daughter's estranged when they were both 19, but man, life before that. And even, to be honest, I was dealing with unresolved traumas in my life. I had been sexually assaulted in the military, never went to get help for that. Raised in a family, in a matriarchal family. I was never close with my mom. My dad was an alcoholic. It was tough. So I had a lot of unresolved issues and traumas going on, being a parent, trying to raise two girls to the best of my ability. Say that again, to the best of your ability, despite everything, all the shit you've been through in your life. So I can just say, when my daughters left, it was the first time in a long time I was able to exhale. I was waiting to exhale. I was thinking, my gosh, for the first time, I was able to walk in my house and have peace. So all of us can say that trauma and chaos started when our kids walked out of our lives, but if a majority of us were being honest and truthful and sitting at a round table with other estranged moms, would say, you know what, it wasn't all peaches and cream. I wasn't a perfect parent. My marriage suffered. I dated. I was out there. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really have a roadmap. I was doing my best, but there's certain shortcomings, and I raised my girls despite all of that. So I just have to say, we can say it happened when our kids walked out of our lives, and that's when it started. But no, some of it started from birth on. Some of you may have never felt close to your children, or have gone through a postpartum. Some of you may have had strong-willed children, and you did the best you could. And some of you may have been dealing with children who were on the internet and may have lost a son or daughter to drugs, alcohol, or suicide. There's a lot of things at play when you raise children. And the one thing I'm not going to apologize for is being human, raising them as an imperfect person, doing my very best to send them out into this world. And if they're out in this world giving love to other people and making a difference, what else can I do? Nothing. So anyways, that's all there is to it. I am not perfect. I hope this helps, and I will be back.